In this week's Parshat Mishpatim, we learned so much about self-esteem, about self-worth, just from the beginning, first sentences of the Parsha. What does it say? It says, Im tikanei eved ivri. First of all, if you buy this eved ivri, 6 years, shanim ya'avod, 6 years he's going to work, and on the 7th year, yatzeh lechavshi chinam. He's going out. Where is he going out to? Freedom, right? With no payments. I'm going to dissect that sentence, and I'm going to, in a minute, but I'm going to skip ahead, and I'm going to skip to where he's being offered that he can go free. But what happens? Ve'im amor omer, 2 times. But if he says, ha'eved ahavti et adoni, et ishti ve'et banai ve'lo etze lechavshi. But he tells everybody, you know what? I'm saying, who is he saying? This Eved is saying that I love. Who do I love? I love my master. I love my wife. I love my kids. And I'm not going out. Okay? These 2 huge sentences are amazing. Teaching us lots. They're going to teach us lots about self-esteem. And then the next one, last is Vigishu Adonav. So then his master takes him. And what does he do? He takes him and he puts him by the Delet. Or Muzuzah, Ratza, Adonai, Et Azno. He puts him by the door, by the mantle, and he puts an earring through his ear, and he says to him, okay, now you're la'avod le'olam. Now you're going to be an Eved forever. So let's go back a little bit. And this is a teaching based a lot on the beautiful teachings of Rav Atari. And what does he say? It says like this. First of all, when was he becoming an Eved Ivri? He didn't become an Eved Ivri until he became a slave. Like before, he wasn't a slave. What happened was, according to Mefarshim, according to commentaries, he stole. He had to sell himself into slavery as sort of like a payment back to what he did. And this was not to be an Eved forever. This was not to be a slave forever. This was a 6-year working term. 7th year, you're supposed to go free. But he wasn't an Eved before. So why are we saying he's an Eved Ivri if he didn't become an Eved Ivri until after you bought him? But here it's already saying, Im tikanei, if you buy an Eved Ivri. He was not an Eved Ivri until after the purchase. Number 1 question. Number 2 is, what's this idea about going out to freedom? And number 3 is, why does he say, it's very repetitive, he says that I'm saying that I love my master and I love everything and I'm not going to go out. And if that person who says, you know what, I love my life and this is what I love about it and I'm this, that, talk, guess what? Then you put an earring in his ear and he's a slave forever. So we see here the importance of how we talk. The man is talking, and what is he talking? He is talking, and he's already in the talking of being an Eved. Even before he was sold into slavery, already his identity is one, his self-esteem is one, is I'm an Eved. I'm a slave. The more we talk to ourselves like this, the more we start saying, this is actually really good for me here. I kind of like this, God forbid, like a person who starts threatening. I'm leaving you, I can't stand this, I can't stand this, I can't stand this, I'm leaving this. I actually heard this a lot from a couple. I heard it very much so. Always being the one of the spouses threatening the other one, I'm leaving. Well, guess what? One day the other one walked out and left. So a lot of times what we say, we kind of we trap ourselves into what we're saying. Now, of course, this is also work in the positive, right? The idea of positive reinforcement, the positive words that we're saying will create positive thoughts, will inspire us to do positive actions. But a lot of the times, unfortunately, we trap ourselves by what? With these negative words that we are saying. Then we had the whole word about the chufshi. It's freedom. What's the word chufshi? Chufshi also is lechapes. It means to seek, to search. The person who cannot seek inside themselves, search inside themselves. Like, why am I thinking this way? What's going on inside of me? Why am I acting this way? I'm not that kind of person who explodes, who gets angry, who gets frustrated, who gets jealous, who gets angry, who gets who has so much complaints. I'm not this kind of person. I don't want to be this kind of person. So why am I feeling this way? Why am I being trapped by this? What's making me into a slave of this? I need to lechapes. I need to look inside myself and see what's going on. The person who can look inside themselves, see what's going on, start talking to themselves in a type of self-talk that's not as being an Eved, that's not being a slave. I don't have to stay like this. I can change. I can grow. I can become something else. I don't have to be stuck and love this life that I've sort of created for myself, this misery. No, I can change, and I can also create a beautiful life of freedom, of growth, of constantly trying to seek and look for new things. So you know what? That's the person who goes free. But unfortunately, a lot of times we get stuck in this with our words, with our thoughts, and then they turn into our actions. The Eved Ivri is teaching us something very important. No one is born to be an Eved. You make yourself into one. How do you make yourself into one? You start looking at yourself like that. You start talking to yourself like that. You're not really looking and searching and seeking inside yourself how to change. So you know what? You're going to stay that way. We should only be zoche. We should just merit to be able to look inside ourselves, see what's really going inside ourselves, see our potentials, our beauty, our light, be able to actualize that and bring it out. Shabbat Shalom.